In the quiet town of Wilton Hollow, folks were known for two things: their inexplicably fresh strawberries and the dead silence that fell upon the town at precisely 8 p.m. Outsiders would often comment on how the streets, even on the busiest of days, would suddenly be deserted. No children playing, no cars passing by, not even the distant bark of a dog. Just a thick, eerie quietness. Curious tourists would sometimes attempt to unravel the mystery. They'd stay in the town's only inn, the Hollow's Rest, planning to roam the streets after 8 p.m. But no one ever did. By some strange phenomenon, they'd all be overcome by a sudden wave of exhaustion, forcing them to bed. Lucas, a young journalist, was determined to uncover the truth. He arrived with equipment to keep him awake: alarms, caffeine pills, even a small device that would give him a mild shock. The townsfolk just watched him, their eyes shadowed with a mix of pity and fear. That evening, as 8 p.m. neared, Lucas started his recorders and prepared himself. The heavy quiet settled in, but Lucas fought the overwhelming urge to sleep. At around 8:15 p.m., he noticed the first one, a shadowy figure moving slowly across the street, hands extended, and seemingly feeling its way around. Then more figures began to emerge. Silent, almost translucent, they wandered aimlessly. Lucas, hiding behind a curtain in his room, watched in horror as the figures moved with purpose toward the strawberry fields. They began digging into the earth with their hands, pulling out bright red strawberries and consuming them ravenously. Recording everything, Lucas decided to follow them when they started moving back towards the heart of the town. They entered a building which, to Lucas's shock, was an old, decrepit version of Hollow's Rest. Inside, the specters sat in decaying rooms resembling scenes from the past. An elderly local, Mrs. Hawthorne, found Lucas there. Her voice trembled. "You shouldn't have seen this." She went on to explain the curse of Wilton Hollow. Decades ago, the town had been prosperous due to its strawberry fields, but one harsh winter, food became scarce. The town's residents took to consuming their stockpile of strawberries, not knowing they had been tainted by a traveler's malicious magic. The fruit bound their spirits to Wilton Hollow, forcing them to relive their last days over and over. The strawberries they consumed kept their spirits tethered, and the quietness of 8 p.m. was the town's way of honoring and avoiding their cursed kin. Lucas released his footage, but it was dismissed as an elaborate hoax. Those who believed him and traveled to Wilton Hollow found a town that was empty, save for its never-aging strawberry fields. It seemed as though the entire town had disappeared overnight. Yet even today, if you find yourself driving near the remains of Wilton Hollow after dusk, you may hear soft whispers on the wind, laced with the sweet scent of strawberries. And if you listen closely, they might just be trying to tell you their story.